Welcome to your gentle yoga session. Today, this one is all about giving our back some love, specifically if you've been doing some gardening and overworking your lumbar spine and your shoulders. We're going to be giving your back a little bit of TLC. I hope you enjoy this one. So I'm going to be using my yoga belt today. If you don't have a belt like this one, you can use just a normal belt that you might have in your jeans. And I'm also going to be using the bolster. If you don't have a bolster, a pillow from your bed is fine. Now, as always in our practice, go gently, lean into whatever sensations are arising and really just welcome your body as it is today and treat it with a little bit of kindness. That's what this is all about. So let's start lying down. If you're using a pillow or a bolster, you might pop that under your lower legs and let your feet separate out a little bit. You can rest your hands on your tummy, or if it's comfortable, you can rest your hands by the side of the body with the palms facing upwards. We're just going to let the shoulders drop open freely and smooth over the top ribs of the rib cage, creating just a little bit more space to breathe. Taking a moment to really settle in, to arrive for your practice, and to set an intention of welcoming the sensations that arise in your body as they do, and approaching them with compassion and kindness, rather than any kind of criticism or judgment. Just scanning through your whole body now, from the top of your head down to your toes. Tuning in to sensations as you find them, noticing where there might be some tension, some tightness, some fatigue. And noticing also where your back or anywhere in your body might be holding strength, spaciousness and openness. Aware that opposites are always present in your body, and welcoming everything about how you are physically, just as it is. And connecting to your breathing now, aware of that gentle rise and fall in the breath, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Sensing every inhalation radiating in a 360-degree direction to the back and the sides, the front, up and down. And each exhalation you take, engaging the abdominal wall in that gentle release of the breath. And noticing too the pauses that are there at the top of your inhale and at the end of your exhale. Really being aware of the four parts of your breathing. Not just the movement of the air in and out of your lungs, but these little pauses in the breath where we get to tap into quiet and stillness. And connect with our sense of sattva, of equilibrium and balance in the body, in the mind, and in the spirit. And whenever you're ready, let's bend the knees now, resting your feet on the mat for a moment. Let's gather up the right leg and bring your right thigh in towards your chest. And we'll lengthen out through the left leg. Returning to an awareness of your breathing again. Each time you're breathing out, guiding your right thigh in towards the chest. And as you're breathing in, imagine you can breathe all the way down to the toes of your left foot and all the way up to the top of the shoulder. And noticing when you're holding this position, if you're pressing your middle and lower back against the floor. If you are, just find a little space in there so we can have the spine in a neutral position in axial extension. And axial extension is a really important neutral position for the spine to visit regularly. Because when we come back to neutral, of course, we're untangling some of the habits that we might have in the way we hold ourselves and in the way we move our bodies, and giving your spine and all the muscles in your back a chance to kind of come back to center and recalibrate a bit. When you're ready, let's bend the left leg now, resting the foot on the mat. We're going to take the right hand over the right knee. Take your left hand to the middle of your left thigh, and we're going to press into the left thigh while we draw the right leg in towards the chest. And now we are flattening the back against the floor, really pressing down with the middle and lower back. Imagine each time you exhale, you can draw your belly button a little closer to the floor, releasing tension in that area and across the crests of the pelvis. And then when you're ready, let's release from this. We'll bring both feet to the top of your bolster for a moment and just zigzag your knees side to side, resetting the spine. And then let's gather up the left leg and bring this in towards the chest. So we're going to lengthen out through the right leg now, returning to your breathing again. Each time you breathe out, guiding the left thigh in towards the chest. And as you're breathing in, imagine the breath traveling right down to the toes of your right foot and up to the top of the right shoulder, filling the right side of the body with a sense of length and spaciousness as we release through the deep front line and release the psoas. Expansive and soft as you breathe in, and measured and smooth as you breathe out. And then when you're ready, bend your right leg, and we'll take the right hand to the middle of the right thigh, left hand over the left knee. We'll press into the right thigh now and guide the left leg into the chest, pressing the middle and the lower back into the floor. You might even imagine a valve at the lumbar spine, and as you're breathing in, imagine you're breathing in through that valve, offering softness and expansion into the area. And each time you're breathing out, the breath leaving through that same valve. And letting all tension that you're holding there be breathed out of the body. When you're ready, return both feet to the top of the bolster again. A little zigzag action side to side to reset. And then let's get our belts. We're going to pop the belt behind your left thigh. Rest your feet on your pillow or bolster to start. And then we're going to take the right foot and pop that on top of your left knee. So just take a moment here to establish that neutral spine position again, axial extension, creating a little bit of space between the lower back and the floor. And if it feels okay to do so, you can lift your left foot off your support now, letting it just dangle. Keeping the shoulders nice and wide and drawn towards the floor, we're going to gently guide the left thigh in towards the chest using the belt. And each time you're exhaling, that movement is being supported by your breath. And as you breathe in, imagine you can breathe into your right hip now as we release the piriformis muscle there and offering that sense of expansion and softness again into any tension you're holding in that right hip. Breathing softness into tension, merging these opposite sensations. Every exhale, smooth and measured, guiding the left thigh in. And then when you're ready, let's release the left foot to the bolster. Leave your right foot just as it is, and we'll let go of the belt, outstretching your arms now. Take an inhalation here, and then as you exhale, drop your knees over to the right side. Now you might like to support your right knee with your right hand and forearm, or if it feels okay, you can let the knees gently come right over to the right side. And let's direct our gaze towards the left hand now. Opening up the breath into the left side of the rib cage, finding length to the ends of the fingers of the left hand. And we'll breathe in here. And then as you exhale, send your left arm over the torso to the right side. It might reach your elbow or upper arm. And then inhale and send your hand back to the left. So crossing it over the body as you breathe out. And opening up again as you breathe in, keeping your gaze on your fingers as they move through space. And let's keep everything from the waist down really quiet and still. So all of this movement is in the upper body, in the shoulder and the neck, of course in the breathing. Just paying attention to where sensations are coming to your attention in the movement. You might feel this all the way down into your left hip and through the side of the waist on the left side. And then the next time your arm comes to that outstretched position again, we'll allow the knees to come back to center. And let's change this over now. So we'll pop the belt behind the right thigh. And this time the left foot goes on top of the right knee. Take a moment to establish that neutral spine position again, just that little bit of space between the lower back and the floor. And then let's lift the right foot up and off your support, letting it dangle if that feels okay. If it's feeling a little tight or strained, you're welcome to leave the foot down, of course. Working with your breathing again, your exhalation helping you bring your right thigh in towards your chest. And as you're breathing in, imagine directing your breath right into that left hip, meeting any tension you're holding in the left hip with that expansive, soft quality of the breath, merging opposite sensations of tension and expansion. And keeping the shoulders really broad and soft, letting the back of the shoulders come towards the floor rather than bunching up and curling forward with them, keeping them nice and broad. And when you're ready, release your right foot to your support again. We'll let go of the belt, outstretch your arms. And let's take an inhalation here. And then as you exhale, we'll bring the knees over to the left side. So you might support your left knee with your left hand and forearm, or maybe it feels okay to let the knees come right over. We'll gaze to the right fingertips now, broadening out to the ends of the fingers, and really opening up space in the right side of the rib cage. Take an inhalation here. And then as you exhale, send your right arm into the air, crossing over the body to the left side. Opening the arm out wide again, breathing in. Continuing with this, letting your breath lead you in and out of each part of the movement, and letting your gaze stay connected to your fingertips as they move through space. Movement in this just being in the upper part of the body, everything from the waist down, quiet and still. And when you come to that outstretched arm position again, let's bring the knees back to center. Release your left foot, and we can put the belt to the side now. We're finished with that. So let's take the bolster or pillow off the mat now, just moving that off to the side. We're going to take desk pose now. And in desk pose, when we sit up, we like to line the hips, the knees and the ankles up, which creates a little bit of space in between your feet. Let's be aware of the back of the shoulders being drawn towards the mat and keeping a certain softness in the neck and the jaw here. Pressing into the 3 points of support in your feet, under the big toe, under the pinky and under the heel, making that a really stable foundation for our movement. As you breathe in, lift your chest and your hips into the air and take your arms overhead or wide if that feels better today. Start your exhalation and then begin to roll down, seeing if you can travel with each little vertebra of the spine as you release back down to the mat. Lifting into the shape, breathing in, starting your exhale and then beginning to roll down little by little. You might even close your eyes as you take this motion and just notice the spine in movement. Noticing where you're feeling tension, where there's a little discomfort perhaps in the movement, and also where the vertebrae are happily moving freely of each other and where they're moving in a little bit of a group. Just noticing what's going on in the movement in your spine today, remembering to approach all of that information with compassion and kindness and no judgment. And when you come into your next elevation, let's hold in the pose there. And we'll bring the arms back down by the side of the body, pressing the palms into the mat and making a stronger connection with the back of the shoulders, the upper arms and the forearms. And then being aware again of those 3 points of support in your feet, really pressing evenly through the feet, lifting the arches, firing up the calves, the thighs, the glutes and the abdominal wall, and sharing the load of this pose really evenly through the body, the neck and the jaw, nice and soft. And then when you're ready, on your next exhalation, let's super gently and slowly roll back down. And then lift your knees in towards your chest. Let's take a little rocking or rolling motion. Maybe making a figure 8 shape with your pelvis by moving your knees around, leaning into any tension you're holding and easing it out with gentle movement. And then when you're ready, rest your feet on the floor again. Let's roll over to the right side and come up onto all fours. You might like something underneath your knees if you're on a hard surface. Setting up in cat pose now. So let's soften into the elbows a little, creating a little bit of a bend in the elbows and scooping the elbow tips together, which puts puts the shoulders in a really good position for weight bearing. We want to lengthen out through the spine from the crown down to the tailbone, finding lots of length there. Let's breathe in cat, and then on exhale, move to cow pose, tucking the chin and tailbone under. Return to cat as you breathe in again, this time lifting your gaze, creating a little back bend. And then rounding the back, belly to spine, moving to child's pose. Let all your breath go. Returning to cat again as you breathe in, finding that neutral spine position. Exhaling to cow. Breathing in again to cat this time, a little back bend, lifting the gaze. And exhaling to child's pose, letting all your breath go. Taking one more round, cat-cow, cat-child. watching your spine in motion. And when you arrive in your child's pose this time, let's take the knees a little wider. If you're using a block today, you might rest your head down on your block on whichever surface suits you. It might be the taller one today, it might be the short edge of the block, or if it's okay to do so, you might bring your head right down to the floor. I'm just creating a little bit of space now around the shoulders by repositioning your hands. And getting a sense of drawing your tailbone a little closer to the floor as you're holding the shape, and opening the breath up into the back of your body, broadening into the sides of the rib cage and into the back of the rib cage. Allowing all the muscles in your back to just soften, to rest, and to get a sense of lengthening really gently, offering the breath into any points of tension you're finding. Then when you're ready, let's walk the hands back towards the knees. And we'll come up to a kneeling position now. So if you're uncomfortable sitting directly on your heels, you can also get your bolster or pillow and pop that between your heels and your buttocks. Some people find that a more comfortable position in a kneeling shape. So let's start by bringing the spine to length and seeing the crown float over the heart and the heart over the tailbone over the earth. Just noticing right now if you might be kicking the pelvis back and jutting the chest forward. We're going to find as much evenness and that axial extension position again for the spine. When you breathe in next, raise your left arm into the air and then bend the elbow. We're going to take the hand, the fingertips rather, under the right ear, and then start to draw your head towards the left side. And at the same time, we're going to inch the fingers of the right hand away from the body. You might even float them off the floor a little. Just getting a lengthening through the side of the neck and across the shoulder. Not forcing yourself into this position, giving your body some time to settle into the shape. And when you're ready, return the head back to center, release your left arm. And just take a moment to find neutral again, really lengthening out through the spine. And then let's breathe in and raise the right arm up. Bend the elbow, the fingertips come under the left ear now. We're going to draw the head towards the right side, inching the fingers of the left hand out from the body, maybe even lifting them off the mat a little if you want to. And again, not really forcing your head into this shape, just coaxing it over, letting your body have the time it needs to find its way into the shape. When you're ready, return to center again, releasing the right arm. Let's come all the way and up onto the knees now as you breathe in, taking your arms high. As you exhale, send your arms behind the body and interlace the fingers, pulling the hands away from the torso, opening through the front of the chest, opening through the throat. Broadening across the collarbones. Take your arms high as you breathe in again. Send the arms behind the body on exhale, interlacing the fingers again, pulling the hands away from the body. And this time let's nestle the hands in just on top of the right hip there. And we're going to gaze down towards the mat on the right side. Breathe in and raise your arms high. And as you exhale, send the arms behind the body again, interlacing the fingers and pulling the hands away from the body, opening the throat and the chest again. And then let's nestle the hands on top of the left hip now and gaze down towards the left side of your mat. Bring your arms high now. And then float the hands down to the mat. Letting yourself sit right back down on your heels. Maybe just giving your shoulders a few little rolls in each direction. And dropping your chin into your chest and just gently rotating the head side to side. And then coming back to center, letting your chin lift towards the ceiling, just opening through the throat again, broadening out through the collarbones. A little bit of movement there. And then returning to neutral again. So you might choose to stay just as you are in this kneeling position now. Or if you want to come onto your back as we take a little bit of a relaxation and a scan through the body, you're welcome to lie down as well. Or if you prefer, you can sit cross-legged on your mat as well. Just get my singing bowl ready while you get yourself organized. So if you're kneeling or seated, let's rest the hands in the lap. Letting your left hand sit on top of your right hand and the thumb tips just coming together. And if you're lying down, let the hands rest by the side of the body, the palms facing upwards. Coming right back into your breathing again. And each time you're breathing in, seeing your breath as white light. And as you take the breath in, light expands from the center of your chest into your lungs. And as you're breathing out, drawing that light to the finest point of pure, vivid light inside your heart. Expanding this bright white light as you breathe in, even sensing it radiating through the arms, through the torso, through the legs and the head. And each exhale drawing this light to the finest point of clarity and pureness inside your heart. Being with that expansion and contraction of the breath and of vitality through your body. As prana carried by your breath nourishes every cell and invites balance, harmony, and equilibrium through your whole system. Bringing your hands to your heart now in Anjali Mudra. Grateful to yourself for having taken some time today to do something nourishing and restorative for yourself. And grateful for living where we do, for having the people in your life that are right there by your side, and for having health and breath and space to be. Treating yourself with kindness and compassion today. Being gentle with yourself as you move through your day. Thank you for practicing with me this morning, yogis. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.